Welcome to the 2021 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic on ESPN. There is Diamond Head serving as the backdrop for Day 2 action. This is how the quarterfinal round played out. You had Liberty edging Northern Iowa 76-74 to advance to today's semifinal round, and Stanford getting past Wyoming 66-63 to set up this first semifinal matchup. BYU and Vanderbilt will play later today, but the Liberty Flames out of the Atlantic Sun coming in at 8-4, getting ready to do battle with the Stanford Cardinal out of the Pac-12, 7-4 on the season. And with that, we welcome you inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center alongside Brooke Weisbrod. I'm Kanoa Leahy, and Brooke, both these teams had to earn their way into this semifinal round with quarterfinal games that went down to the wire. So you can say their battle tested has the makings of a good one.
This is going to be a great game. You've got a team like Liberty who's had 6 wins over a Power 5 school in the last 4 seasons. So I think they welcome this challenge of facing a team just like Stanford. Stanford's got size, they've got physicality, and I think they're looking forward to seeing what Liberty is going to bring to the table.
Both these teams have players that can, at times, take over ball games. We saw it from Spencer Jones for the Cardinal. 13 of his 15 points coming in the second half.
He was big yesterday, and as much as his outside shot wasn't necessarily falling, so strong off the bounce. He was really bringing it right to Wyoming's interior, scoring in the paint. 7 of 11 from the floor. And Darius McGee, he also had a slow start yesterday, but he got his teammates involved. And that really helped him to have a short memory on a shot, feel comfortable, and boy, did he come alive. 22 points in that game versus Northern Iowa. McGee is a scorer, and Kanoa, he's going to have to bring everything to get his teammates involved again today.
Yeah, he is averaging just under 20 points per game. First ever meeting between these two programs, and it takes place here in the Islands, and it is Stanford controlling. The Cardinal will be expected to have the edge on the glass with some great rebounding numbers. They also bring that 5-star freshman in the middle of that starting lineup, Harrison Ingram, to the table. He's averaging 12 points per game to go along with just under 7 rebounds and 3 assists. And we have an early whistle here against the Liberty defense.
Kyle Rhodes, one of their key pieces to this Liberty defense, this pack line defense. So he's already got to be aware, getting 18 seconds into this game, getting called for a foul. And for what we didn't see from Harrison Ingram yesterday, which was a lot of playing time, he had some key boards, 4 offensive rebounds, and maybe the game-saving rebound.
Yeah, Ingram was fighting early foul trouble. Ended that game against Wyoming with 5.7 boards, but you're right, a key rebound and a key spot down the stretch.
Keep your eye out for Keegan McDowell, number 20. He was also somebody who had a very impactful game. I mean, Kyle Rhodes, to me, was the guy for Liberty who got them going on the offense end.
McGee passes up the possible attempt at the rim, and here is McDowell unable to finish in front of the Tim.
It just me and McGee had the whole left side to work with. He could finish that layup, no? Looked like he had it.
Here's Ingram, being guarded by Shiloh Robinson. Versatile defensive player for the Flames. Fadeaway shot, left it short, and Liberty clears it. We played a little over a minute. Still scoreless here in Honolulu. Road turns the corner. And Robinson couldn't secure the pass, and so it's an early turnover here for Liberty. And Stanford gives it right back. So still shaking off some of the early morning with an 11 a.m. start time, some of the early morning rust here, these two teams. Richie McKay in his 9th season atop the Liberty program. It's actually his 2nd stint. And since he has returned, he has led the Flames to 5 straight 20-win seasons, including the program best 30 wins in the 2019-2020 year. They've also won 3 straight Atlantic Sun regular season and conference titles.
Yeah, Coach McKay has established a culture at Liberty that's got these guys committed to a shared experience, and that's what he shared with us. It's about playing hard, smart, and together, and those are values that you can see exemplified on the floor.
So who's going to break the ice first? Here's McDowell for 3. That one off the heel, and this is an area that Stanford is really good at, and that's defensive rebounding.
Talking with Coach McKay before the game, he told us Stanford, when they walk in the gym, I mean, you think they're an NBA team based off their size. Liberty is going to have to really get on the boards today to try to keep this game competitive.
Ingram, tough shot, just trickles off the rim. Just the fact that he got it up was something.
Yeah, and you see an ounce of his creativity, how much he can, figure out a shot. When you don't think he has anything, he'll come up with something.
There's Here's McGee keeping the dribble alive and then setting up Robinson on the drive. And he's able to get Liberty off to Schneid, finishing right in front of James Keith.
You gotta like the game plan if you're a Liberty fan, because you already see their modus is to attack the basket. They're not gonna settle for outside shots. The Flames move the ball really well. So for the size that Stanford brings, I think Liberty can get their shot off. And Spencer Jones picking up right where he left off yesterday.
Yeah, outside shot wasn't falling for him yesterday, so he was able to find seams to the rim. That outside shot goes for the guy shooting 23% from distance coming in.
He's strong, he's quick, he could turn the corner. He's tough to stay in front of.
Here's McGee. Splashes his first attempt.
So smooth. I love the way he moves without the ball, but he has great balance and strength in his shot. So as he catches it, footwork's there. You see the balance. It's straight up and a nice follow through.
The reigning ASUN Player of the Year, 6th in the NCAA in made threes. Actually leads the country in attempted threes. 10 seconds to shoot. Here's Jaden Dallaire. He had a good ball game yesterday as well. Getting caught along the baseline, though, when he walks with it. So the pack line defense paying dividends here early for Liberty as you take a look at Stanford head coach Jared Haas in his 6th season. He has 3 top 20 recruiting classes over the last 4 years. They had the 20-win season in 2019-2020. They were poised to play in the NCAA tournament, and then, of course, the COVID shutdown happened. And so a little bit of hard luck here for Stanford, a program that has been heavily impacted due to some of the restrictions in that area, Santa Clara County, over the last now year and a half.
Yeah, being away from campus for 4 months is going to have a huge impact on your team. I don't care who you are, but they've managed through it, and now they've got a roster with 3 of the top 6 scoring freshmen in the Pac-12. So a good young program here. It's been about learning the game, learning how to take and make good shots, limiting turnovers, all the things freshmen have to deal with once they get to college.
McGee almost lost the handle, somehow maintains it though, and then the deep 3 with the shot clock winding down, rattles in and out. We have a whistle as James Keith, who had what they refer to as 5 floor burn stats registered in the game yesterday. We'll explain that as this one goes on. Is able to secure the rebound. Foul goes against Liberty. Flames by 2 on another spectacular day in the Islands. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. Outrigger Hotels and Resorts, where local culture meets world-class hospitality. And Dollar General, where you save time and money every day. We welcome you back to Honolulu, Hawaii. And day 2 action of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Not a white Christmas to be enjoyed here in Hawaii. More water activities.
I'm
People
cool with that.
like to hit up the pool, exactly. This is the 12th year of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Of course, had the hiatus year in 2020. First appearance for 5 of the teams in the field. Hawaii hosting, they played in every tournament. In the last title game, it was Houston. They're the defending champs back in 2019, defeating Washington.
Yeah, Hawaii, making some moves. I saw where they'd gotten 3rd place a couple of times in this tournament. They looked strong last night. They stuck with Vandy. I liked the fact that they're down so many players this year, Canoa, but still they played tough and hard. Really get after the boards well.
Here's Ingram, tough drive. There was some contact. He's still able to finish though, and he gets in the book. We're knotted at 5. Yeah, first appearance in this event for both these programs. Stanford did play in the Maui Invitational last year, but that happened to be the Maui Invitational that was moved to Asheville, North Carolina, so didn't quite get the full island experience.
I don't know if that quite counts. Yeah.
Here's Blake Preston. Backing in on Keith. Gets the tip. No, it just trickles off the rim. Good effort there by Preston. He's a guy that you were suggesting could rebound with this Stanford club.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a team effort, honestly, for Liberty. Because, again, you're looking at NBA-type size for Stanford. And Pac-12 is a major conference, so they're used to having to crash the glass. That's a nice exchange there, but a good defense by Liberty. They're in it. I mean, the pack line defense is what it's all about. It's about guarding your man, but there's sort of a hybrid between that man and zone and creating that wall. and trying to eliminate guys from driving into the paint, forcing them into outside shots.
Yeah, that time perhaps altering that Brandon Angel attempt off of the pick and roll.
Yep, illegal screen.
It's going to be an offensive foul against Stanford, as you mentioned, illegal screen there. The officiating trio here for this semifinal #1, Tony Padilla, Michael Greenstein, and Brooks Wells. They actually worked the late game on day 1 last night, so a quick turnaround for this crew.
Talked to them, said their legs are feeling good. These guys put in about 3.5 miles per game, so it's like a good workout, but you're not exhausted, right? You can keep that up. Probably in the best shape out here on the floor. You never know.
Issa Silva picking up that last foul. Good position that time by Preston, and a great feed from Keegan McDowell.
Great job by Preston to hold off his defender, and that's a perfectly placed pass.
Liberty by a bucket here. Closing in on 6 minutes into this first frame. Silva putting it on the floor. Tough contested shot over Robinson. Offensive rebound, though, Maxime Reynaud, and we got a tie-up. Possession arrow will send it the other way. Reynaud, the 7'1" freshman from Paris, France, in the tug-of-war.
Great interior pass, pushing the defense up. Reynaud getting caught up the block without the help side. And that's from Blake Preston, who's got so much strength. And we saw him yesterday come in at key times to grab rebounds, good screen setter. He's definitely been that role player for this Liberty squad.
Yeah, he's the top rebounder for Liberty, also averaging about 6 points per game, pulling down 5.5 boards. That was Noah Tates that hit the deck for Stanford. Now controlling Isaiah Warfield. Tried to heave it to Keegan McDowell, and it's deflected out of bounds. Your thoughts on the pace here so far in this one?
I like it. I think both teams are trying to get a good pace, not necessarily run out, do a lot of fast break, but once they get the ball into the half court, quarter court, they want to keep it moving. You're not seeing guys waste dribbles, hold on to the ball for 2 and 3 seconds. It's see what you got and then keep it moving. And that's going to get you the best shot.
McGee got loose for just a moment. It was as if Michael O'Connell just lost his bearings, and that was enough of an opening for McGee to stick the 3.
I think McGee's got underrated strength as well. 5'9", 150. That was just a quick jab set, kind of clear through of the ball, and he was able to get a wide open 3.
Dallaire got that one spanked away. Micaiah Abi saying,
Welcome to the game, Micaiah.
Abi, 6'7" sophomore from Frisco, Texas, out of Liberty High School, now playing for Liberty University. And McGee doing some Darius McGee things, that time in off-balance, Jay.
I like the brush screen, too. Abi's got that big body, so as tightly as Darius McGee could turn that corner, and he was way off balance. I mean, he was jumping toward the rim when he left that 3, but that looked good. Here's McGee, the clear out, right? As you said, just losing his balance a bit, and that's all he needs, a step to get his 3 off. Turns the corner. Great read. The defense is behind you, you go forward.
Well, it's an 8-0 run for the Liberty Flames, and 9 points for Darius McGee. He leads everybody right now. A guy who maybe isn't necessarily on the national radar, but those who are in the know in college basketball, they know what Darius McGee is capable of.
I think we can add a yet to the end of that sentence. Not on the national radar yet. But we've seen a Curry come through the Liberty program. It was a step, but Seth is, has a good career in the NBA himself. Well-versed, so you might be looking at the next NBA player to come out of Liberty. 15 players in Coach McKay's program have signed pro contracts, so this has become a program builder.
Meanwhile, Stanford scoreless over the last 2.5+ minutes. They get it down low, it's Jones, and he'll go to the free throw line. Looks like Warfield will pick up the foul. So that has been a key for Stanford, it seems, so far this week in Honolulu, is when they need something. One of the guys they look to is number 14, Spencer Jones.
And he's so aggressive, so he can draw the foul. He moves well without the ball, and then once he gets it, he's so strong, he's going to look for contact. I think he enjoys it, honestly, by the way he plays.
6'7", 225-pound junior from Roland Park, Kansas, was one of the top prospects in the state. He is a returning starter. We mentioned those 15 points in the quarterfinals against Wyoming, 13 of those coming in the second half. I mean, he just wore the responsibility on his shoulders for getting Stanford that victory.
And that's good to see, because all the responsibility for what Harrison Ingram, and well-deserved praise for his game, but he got into foul trouble. So it's like, all right, you know, who else is going to step up? And if you're going to have a successful team, sometimes your vets got to show who they are, and that's been Spencer Jones.
Set up for a B, and he hits the three.
So because Darius McGee is hot from the three-point line right now, Stanford's sending two guys to try and double off the screen, and that's where his quickness comes into play, right? He creates enough separation that he pulls the second defender with him and gets Abi that second three, but Spencer Jones trying to make this a game himself.
So Liberty with 4 made threes on 6 attempts. They average over 10 made threes per game as a squad. But a little bit of the handle being shown by Micaiah B.
That's what they said. If they get pressed, he's a guy that can bring the ball up. He can do a little bit of everything. He's unpolished, right? You can see the potential there. It's inconsistency for him.
Shot clock down to 4. It's Brody Peebles that went off the heel, and the long rebound secured by Jaden Dallaire. Dallaire had 17 points, 7 rebounds against Wyoming yesterday, as that cross-court pass from Jones sails into the bench area, and it's Liberty by 7. Oh, Flames head coach Richie McKay, not just a basketball coach. We'll tell you what he is doing on the side to impact his players' lives.
Well, if the coaching thing doesn't ever work out for Coach McKay, he can always be someone who officiates weddings. In fact, he's done it twice for 2 of his current players, and has done it a few times over the years. And so this is the wedding of Blake Preston, his wife Amelia, a volleyball player. Shout out to the photographer. These are stunning images. Everybody looks great. Love an outdoor wedding. But he said it's not something that he ever expected to do, but he was asked by Anthony Gill. It was the first player who said, hey, coach, can you officiate my wedding? I think he fits the part, you know?
Yeah, he definitely does. It started, I guess, with Anthony Gill while he was at Virginia. That was the first wedding that he officiated, and he says there are a couple of stipulations. One is you have to have played for him. Right. So sorry for all of those people out there, fans of Liberty basketball, hoping to get Richie McKay to officiate your wedding. You have to play hoops.
You can't flip them.
And we'll have a whistle away from the basketball, and it's going to go the other way. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Shiloh Robinson.
Coach McKay says he wants a review. Felt like perhaps there was an elbow involved from Dallaire.
Well, they signaled 22, and that was announced that it was Kyle Rode. But Kyle Rode was standing in the corner. Obviously, the contact occurred between Dallaire and Shiloh Robinson, so we're waiting for clarification on that.
Yeah, they'll take another look at this one, I think. There's another look at that from this angle.
What do you think about that call?
Well, I think there's no elbow action above the chin, so I know Coach McKay was perhaps looking for perhaps a flagrant situation, not there. Not quite sure I agree with the call, but definitely no elbows involved from Dallaire.
Here's Jones setting up Ingram. Spins to the hoop, draws the contact from Robinson, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's a quick 2 fouls on Robinson. So Harrison Ingram to the line, 6'7", 230-pound freshman. He already has that college body from Dallas, Texas. The only freshman in the nation averaging 12.6 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah, he came in physically able to handle a Division I type of game, and our high school recruiting expert, Paul Biancardi, is really high on this guy. Just says he has a tremendous upside, sees the floor well, understands scoring, rebounding, getting his teammates involved. Number 2 recruit coming out of Texas, and also is a part of the investment club. You hear he loves to buy stock, loves to play chess, and ends up actually wants to design and build a city in Wyoming. So a man of many talents, Harrison Ingram.
So Liberty has made 4 of its last 5 field goals. They lead by 6. And here's a B. Got caught up underneath. It was Jones who was able to knock it away, and now the Cardinal coming the other way.
Gabi had an opportunity to just take it right to the rim. He's a strong guy, right? He shouldn't be intimidated by anybody and go up against him. Kasunas met him, and he ended up trying to defer, and I think that was the wrong decision. He should have just taken the layup, or attempted to.
Jones will try a three, hit one earlier. That one rattles out. Kasunas tried to tip it to himself, but it's Liberty basketball. Ten minutes in, the semifinal #1 here in the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Kanoa Leahy alongside Brooke Weisbrod. Liberty has been scoreless now for about 2.5 minutes. As that pass off the mark and an opportunity to run out here. It's Dallaire. Got it poked away from behind and last touched out of bounds by the Cardinal. How about the hustle on both ends, really?
Great job in recovery by Liberty here. The pass, Abi just not able to get to it. But here comes Van Sant up the back to get a piece of it. And that's just good hustle. And Dallaire couldn't see over his left side, somebody coming up behind him. I think he was trying to gather himself for a big dunk. That's what I felt.
Well, we are seeing some defense being played right now on the floor.
Big time.
Here's McGee with the left hand. The right never even touched it.
That was nice and filthy at the same time. What a great move.
11 points for McGee. He leads all scorers. Jones, the top scorer for Stanford, with 7. And we'll have a whistle on the screen. It's going to go the other way. 7 turnovers for Stanford.
Starting to see McGee really create, not only with spacing, but off the bounce. I mean, that's a tough shot. He's jumping off his left leg, off balance, finishing with his left hand underneath. And you're starting to see how creative this guy can be when it comes to offense. Not just a three-point shooter. You have to respect what he can do when he puts the ball on the floor. He's so quick.
Max Morrell picking up that last foul, by the way, for Stanford. Here's McGee being watched closely by Jones. 5 seconds to shoot. Someone's got to put it up. It's Preston. That one goes off glass and rim and secured by Ingram.
Great job by Spencer Jones to just flat out deny McGee getting the ball, face guarding him. They know that McGee gets the ball with 10 or less on the shot clock, and that's a nice 3. Max Morrell knocking it down.
32% three-point shooter. That's his 9th make on the year, and Stanford back within a handful. Van Sant, tough angle, but he's bailed out by the whistle, and he'll shoot free throws. Drove right into Lucas Kasunas. Well, the annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues with 5 of the best gifts anyone could ask for. The star-studded schedule starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN with Hawks and Knicks. Then over on ABC, it's Celtics, Bucks, and Warriors, Suns. And then Nets, Lakers on ABC and ESPN with the day capped off by the Mavs and Jazz, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. That is a Christmas Day NBA lineup, I tell you.
Wow, so out here you're literally going to be waking up about 5 or 6 a.m. Pancakes and basketball, right? Get your day started.
There, sounds good to me.
You guys have it so nice out here. So you get the weather, you got sports like first thing in the morning. Can't beat it.
Well, we got a couple of these Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic games Christmas morning, so you can kind of switch back and forth between the NBA and the action here in Honolulu. But you're right, it's an interesting experience, like NFL Sunday when the games kick off. Yeah. Sometimes it's 7 a.m. Under 8 minutes to play here in half number 1. O'Connell trying to get it to Merle in the post. Quickly double team, goes cross court, and it's picked off by Van Sant. That pack line defense, strutting its stuff.
Everybody focused in, and it was a good idea by Merle to look cross court. That's what you want to do. When you get double teamed, you immediately want to look cross court. But Liberty's team defense, help side, the pack line really working on all fronts today.
DJ Moore, number 13, getting it to the wing, and Kyle Rode. Short jump hook just grazes the iron. And it is last touched out of bounds by Stanford, so it stays here with Liberty with 7:16 left to play in the first half, and the Flames up by 7. 8 Stanford turnovers have hampered the Cardinal cause, but it's still a lovely day here in Hawaii. Well, Stanford getting some support from all ages, pom-poms and all. They trail by 7, though, to the Liberty Flames, and in large part because of the efforts of this guy, Darius McGee.
He had a slow start yesterday, but that has not been the case at all today. He's been dialed in since the game started. This is one of my favorite plays that he's done today, is read the screen, come right off his defense is behind him, and he trails. And here he is off the bounce against a bigger defender in Spencer Jones. So Stanford throwing different looks, different defenders at McGee, and he's like, yeah, that's no problem.
So 8 Stanford turnovers have led to 7 Liberty points. That represents the gap at the moment, with a little over 7 minutes to play in half number 1. 10 seconds to shoot, it's Moore. Kicks it to Vincent. And a drop off in the lane to Preston. We'll have a whistle, no basket. It's waved off. And it'll be an inbound along the baseline, but a foul going against Stanford. That's going to be Harrison Ingram picking it up. So his fourth team foul. You have 5 team fouls on the Liberty side, and the quick inbound and smooch off the glass, courtesy Kyle Rode.
Yeah, that was a quick inbound. I don't think Stanford's defense was quite setting up. I think they thought the ball was going to go to McGee.
First bucket for Rode. It's Liberty by 9. Sam Beskind into the game, in the lane, and he double dribbled. So between stints atop the Liberty program for Richie McKay, he spent 6 years alongside Tony Bennett at Virginia. Upon returning to Lynchburg, Virginia, he brought that pack line defense with him. Talk about the intricacies of this thing and how hard it is maybe for some players to get adjusted to it.
Well, I'm sure more people are familiar with Virginia's defense and how stifling that is. And with the pack line, it's a difficult concept, especially for his young guys to comprehend. It's really understanding where the ball is, where help side is, as McGee is straight up high in this half. Wow, he looks really smooth out there. But again, it's anytime a player goes from high school to college and starts to learn defense, I don't care who you are, it's difficult, but you always see 2, 3, 4 guys paying attention to where the ball is. It's designed to help stop the drive, force you to shoot outside. And you think about pack line, pack of wolves, right? It's a team defense type of concept, and one that Richie McKay really understands from being an assistant to Tony Bennett and being a mentee of Dick Bennett.
3 ball from the corner, Brody Peebles able to score right on the heels of that bucket by Brandon Angel at the other end, which ended a 7-0 Liberty run. But it is still Liberty by 13 here with 5.5 to go, Brooke.
And if it gives you, an example or an idea of how effective this defense has been, as Tate hits the 3-point shot finally for Stanford. The Cardinals had 9 turnovers here in the first half, and Liberty scored 10 points off those turnovers.
Noah Tate, he can get hot. The sophomore from Vegas, leading the team in made threes. That's his 14th make of the season, shooting up near 50%. Oh, the reverse layup by Peebles did not go, and now Stanford a chance to cut it back to single digits. Tate's again, can he do it again? That one a little long. And it's McGee down among the trees to grab the board. He can get up there. 48-inch vertical for Darius McGee.
It's crazy. It's Zion Williamson levels. Sean Kemp level.
That is wild. ISO Preston. Goes over the left shoulder. Doesn't get the bounce. And the rebound secured by Kasunas. Tried to hook it down to Kasunas, but too many active hands in the path. And so another Stanford turnover. That's now 10 for the Cardinals. And Liberty is going to signal for a timeout here. 28-18. Flames up by 10, 4:08 to go in the half.
You know, Darius McGee came ready to play. He wants another win over a Power 5, even if he's got to do most of the work himself.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. Well, this Liberty defense has taken some of the wind out of the Stanford sails, as they have forced 10 turnovers and they have scored 10 points off of those turnovers. This is a Liberty team that entered the day 12th in the NCAA in scoring defense, and we're seeing all of that at the moment.
Yeah, holding teams to 54 points a game, that's tough, and I don't think neither you or I would have expected Stanford to only be at 18 points with 4 minutes left in this first half. But Liberty, for their slow start yesterday in the first half, they really came into this game focused out in, and you know, Coach McKay told us before the game it was going to come down to rebounding, guys understanding defensive principles and limiting turnovers. They've done all of that.
Well, I think Dallaire got a piece of that McGee shot attempt from way beyond the three-point arc. Tony Padilla
like
saying it went out of bounds last touched by the Cardinal. And now after a quick conversation with one of his officiating mates, Brooks Wells, they confirmed the call. And so Liberty inbounding from the baseline, 6 on the shot clock. And that pass deflected out of bounds. So some active hands here on this defensive possession for Stanford.
Coach McKay wants one of his bigs, Kyle Roden, to take it out. McGee's got to come off some screens to get open. He can't just jab step and get open.
Bounce pass to a cutting McDowell. He is blocked initially, but he stays with it, and Keegan McDowell gets the bucket.
Great design. Sidelines out of bounds play by Coach McKay. Using a couple of screens, and great job by McDowell to read it, get it going, and then his second effort in the offensive glass.
So Liberty by 12. It's Angel with the open look from the corner, and he hits it. Fourth made 3 for Stanford. And we're going to have a flopping warning called on the play. So that's going to go against Keegan McDowell. And a 9-point differential. So 3:20 and counting down here in half number 1. How do you see the Cardinal flipping the script here in this game?
You know, I feel like they're going to have a breakout play or two, just like this.
Jones going coast to coast.
Exactly. Between their ability to shoot the three, to rebound, and just the straight physicality of this team. At some point, they're going to adjust to this defense. They're going to realize who they are.
And some life coming from the Stanford supporters. Here's McGee, deep 3, and draws nothing. May have just grazed the iron. Either way, it's Stanford basketball.
The momentum shifting here. Stanford really trying to make a move. Heading into halftime, they've got plenty of time that they could definitely tie this thing or take the lead.
Here's Jones putting his head down, and a blocking foul is called. Spencer Jones, there are times when he decides that he wants to beeline to the rim. It doesn't seem like there are too many people that can prevent him from doing so.
I'm thinking, he reminded me, he's probably bigger than a running back. I don't follow football too closely, but he reminds me of that type of mentality. Just head down. He's going to bowl through traffic, but he has a nice finesse touch to his game too. It's not just, you know, this chunky, strong game to him. Like, he's really got the ability to finish nicely.
Trying from the outside, right on cue, Spencer Jones.
Can do that. He's got a complete game.
And just like that, Stanford within 4. McGee trying to answer off the glass, but it bounces out. An 8-0 run here for the Cardinal, looking to add to it. And O'Connell is fouled by Joseph Vincent.
One thing Stanford's doing really well is seeking contact and drawing the foul. And Jones, who just had a strong drive, reminds you, yeah, I can also hit that outside shot, don't you forget. He's their best shooter on the wing. One of the guys on this team who's been an emerging team leader, and you can see that. I mean, from yesterday to today, he's been that guy to take charge of the team, turn the aggression around, and put it in their favor.
Jones had 15 in the quarterfinal against Wyoming yesterday. He has 12. And coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, breaking down VTech and Duke and Tennessee, Arizona, plus Seth and Sean's favorite players. As Jones getting a well-deserved breather along that Stanford bench. O'Connell going 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And this is now a 9-0 Stanford run. McGee to a cutting roll, a little hesitation, power dribble, and he gets fouled. Couldn't finish the shot, but he'll shoot two.
These two work really well together. Rode reads McGee the dribble and knows how to move into a position where McGee, when he draws defenders off the bounce, that help side, Rode gets right into position. He's so strong, he can finish.
Liberty pulling everybody off of the lane, and it's Rode shooting the first of 2, and he knocks it down. And that is something that Richie McKay was discussing when he talks about the connection between McGee and Rode, right? And just the experience, the leadership qualities. He says Kyle Rode, he's basically as good a leader as he has ever seen on a basketball court.
His nickname's G.I. Joe. So you come through like that, you probably got some strong leadership qualities about you. The most vocal guy by far on the team.
Oh, that pass to nobody but McGee in the area. And it's going to be a mishandle called against Darius McGee. A double dribble, the official call. Let's see, does the other hand touch it? Hard to see it on that last dribble. Maybe, if anything, he carried it just a tad.
Well, he didn't double dribble. If anything, it was a carry.
Ingram to a cutting Dallaire. Reverses field, and the verticality by Rode does the job defensively.
He walled up, didn't he? Dallaire thought he was going to have an open shot.
McDowell taking the open shot, and we have a technical foul that's going to go against Keegan McDowell.
Well, he'd been discussing things with the officials, for the last few minutes of the game. When the flop warning was called, McDowell didn't believe it was on him, so we'll take another look here. Looks like he got grazed on the arm, had something to say. Yep, it's right there. And one of the things that the officials really pay attention to is if you're making direct eye contact with them and you're saying something, you're probably gonna get teed up. If anything, if you want to complain, then maybe look away from the official. He's still trying to argue the call now, which is not a smart thing to do. Just take your lumps and move on. Trust me, it does not help.
At a time where Stanford is starting to swing the momentum back on its side, enjoying an 11-2 run as Jones hits both free throws. Now, it should be said, Keegan McDowell may have a beef. It did look like Ingram may have caught a piece of that forearm, but either way, you can't do that in front of the ref.
You can't. And I'm honestly surprised Coach McKay has left him in, but certainly trusts him. Obviously, he's a redshirt senior, so let's see how he responds.
Ingram, power move by the 5-star Frosh.
Smart play by Stanford to go right into Harrison Ingram. Let him go one-on-one with the frustrated McDowell to try to draw another foul on him, and what a move to get open. How about that move?
This is a nice finish there. Brody Peebles, the 6'2 freshman from Hartselle, Alabama.
You got a good one.
And a defensive foul on the perimeter. This looks like it's going to go against Micaiah Abi.
March Ingram catching the ball way far away from the block. Here's the double team. Spins out of it, steps through it. Hits an off-balance shot off the glass. That's tough, and then Peebles splits the defense himself amongst the trees. Barely gets that shot off.
So Abi picking up the foul. That's team foul number 9 for Liberty. And so O'Connell hitting the front end of the 1-and-1 try, looking to cut this down to a 1-point disadvantage. He does with 49.7 on the clock. Stanford trailed by as many as 13 when it was 28-15 in favor of the Flames. Peebles all the way to the basket. It rims out for him, and Angel secures the board. And so about a 5-second differential between the clocks here.
Coach Haas calling for one shot.
Shot clock down to 10. Down to 5. Here's Jones. Bowls over the defender. And he's called for the charge. Brody Peebles hitting the deck, and it goes the other way.
It's a good setup by Brody Peebles. Let's watch this again. Well, you know right where Spencer Jones is going to go. So he gets in position, and Jones lowers that shoulder right into his chest. And good job by Peebles to sell the call.
So 8.4 here for Liberty. What do you think we see?
Little McGee.
McGee
for 3.
Safe bet.
He's got the whole team coming after him.
And a foul by Beskin, which will be the 7th team foul for Stanford, and will send McGee to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
Well, perhaps trying to trade a 1-and-1 for a 3. And try to kill some of that momentum. I mean, you think you don't want to foul in that possession, but again, McGee, they know how well he can shoot from 3, so maybe settling for a 1-and-1 instead.
Darius McGee gets that first free throw to go. He has 15 points, 4 of 7 from downtown. The only player in double figures for Liberty. Spencer Jones has 14, the only player in double figures for Stanford. And it is now 36-33 in favor of the Flames with 2 seconds to go in this first frame. Inbound goes to O'Connell. The heave at the hole is a splash! Mahalo nui loa! Thank you very much, says Michael O'Connell.
I don't think the net even moved, Kanoa. That was just a soft kiss. The bottom of the net. Forget the glass. O'Connell. The arc. Woo! That was beautiful.
And after trailing by 13, Stanford closes the first half on a 16-6 run. And they go into the locker rooms with this thing tied up. And so it's halftime here. We send it to the studio for the E-Trade halftime report. Welcome back to the 2021 Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic on ESPN, where semifinal number 1 is very much up for grabs. 36-all at halftime between Liberty and Stanford. And we welcome you back inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center next to Brooke Weisbrod. I'm Kanoa Leahy, and Brooke. Stanford trailed by as many as 13 in that first half, and then they closed the half on an 18-6 run. Oh yeah, and then you had a Michael O'Connell 47-footer at the buzzer to seal the first 20 minutes.
Right? I mean, that was one of the most perfect shots I think we've ever seen. That was an incredible shot by O'Connell, but a good surge by Stanford to really close out that first half, because Liberty was the dominant team, the aggressive team to start this game. Stanford figured out who they are, and they're starting to adjust to that pack line defense of Liberty. Score from outside, score from inside, but the problem for Stanford is Darius McGee. What are you going to do about McGee? Because he is going off so far in this game. Has done a great job starting with the threes. McGee, 4 of 7 from behind the three-point line. He's creating off of screens, doing a good job. Separation, that's one of his strengths. Is also contributing with a few assists of his own. He's got 3 in the first half. You start to guard him from 3, he's going to take you off the bounce. But no better shot right here than Michael O'Connell. Shot clock running down through the defenders. That's like a rainbow. I'm surprised we didn't see the colors leave his hand after he shot the ball. That was perfect.
And now for today's game track, brought to you by Dollar General. Darius McGee with 16 first half points. He's averaging just under 20 per game. And Spencer Jones, he has been making the most of his time here in the island so far in this tournament. 14 points through the first frame. And so we begin starting over essentially, 36-all, second half action underway. Here's O'Connell. Dallaire goes cross court to Ingram, trying a three. We haven't seen too many attempts from the perimeter for Ingram in this game, and that was an air ball. And then they're going to say that stepping out of bounds was Spencer Jones, and so it will be Liberty basketball. That was something that hurt Stanford throughout the majority of that first half, turnovers. And Liberty was able to take advantage with 12 points off of those 12 Stanford turnovers.
I'm not sure if that's the shot that Stanford wants to see. Coming out second half, a quick three. Rather work it inside.
It's a quick three by McGee. Leaves it short, though, and Ingram able to corral the board.
Meanwhile, there's never a time that Darius McGee shouldn't shoot a three.
Defensive foul called against Liberty. Yeah, Darius McGee, one of those guys. I mean, that green light is as illuminated as can be.
Very, very bright, as is the future for Darius McGee. I think his game's only going to get better, and honestly, what Steph Curry has done for the game, especially with the three-point shot, he's proven that you don't have to be 6'7", 6'8" to succeed in the NBA. Darius McGee at 5'9", 150 pounds. I mean, he needs to get stronger, but he's also got a 38-inch standing vert, 48-inch when he's got a couple of gather steps to him. So his athleticism is off the charts.
You had Dallaire getting his first points of the game at one end, and then the defensive block by Keith on Robinson at the other end. Here's Jones for three, and Stanford has it cooking right now.
It's a dangerous combo. Michael O'Connell and Spencer Jones. These are two very tough guards for the Cardinal.
17 for Spencer Jones. McGee driving past Jones, and that one doesn't fall for him. Cardinal looking to run. Ingram forcing the issue, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Went right into Shiloh Robinson.
Yeah, you can see Ingram starting to get out of control, so good recognition defensively, but O'Connell drives, finds Jones, transition. That's a good rhythm pull-up three-point shot. And the charge, Shiloh Robinson. Good setup, and again, catching Harrison Ingram, leaning forward, his momentum, and does a good job of taking that charge. Ingram got into foul trouble yesterday, trying to make up for it today. We've seen some of, a bit of what he's capable of doing talent-wise. Hasn't gotten his outside shot going, but certainly creative on the interior.
Maybe pressing a little bit?
Yeah, perhaps.
2 fouls now for Ingram. Good action there around the perimeter, and the three rattles home for McDowell.
Liberty had two good shots. Instead, they make an extra pass for a great shot. We talked about this early in the game, right? Liberty moves the ball very well on offense, so they'll be able to create good shots for themselves all game long. That was a nice possession for the Flames.
McDowell, a 46% three-point shooter coming in. That's his first make for this game. And a 3-second violation called against Harrison Ingram.
Let's go back to that last possession for Liberty. The drive's there. Rowe decides to pass it off, as does Robinson. And ends up being a Keegan McDowell three. So you pass up again. Two good shots for a great shot. I like that discipline.
Crossover move by McGee, and he beats Ingram to the glass.
That's yesterday, working off the high ball screen. McGee has a lot of options.
McGee with 18, Jones. How about this battle between McGee and Jones? These guys have been lava hot.
Jones, you got that right. 6 of 7, 4 of 5 from behind the line, and perfect from the three-point line, or the free throw line, I should say.
McGee.
That's a poor shot.
Yeah, that one too strong there. They tried to run the pick and roll to Jones, broken up though by McDowell. And Liberty a chance to cut it down to 1, maybe tie the game. 3.5 minutes into half number 2. It's been a fun one after Stanford went down by 13 and then stormed back.
It's amazing that Stanford is leading this game by 3, considering some offensive foul there, considering they have 16 turnovers. McGee, that high ball screen. It's hard for defenses to stay with him because you expect the three-point shots. When he starts dribbling, he creates, but Spencer Jones Feeling it today, and Abi getting caught. That's James Keefe. Bring him up, another floor burn. He's got, what, 7 for the tourney so far?
I think so. Gonna set a Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic floor burn record. And that is a real stat that this Stanford program keeps. Tough shot there by O'Connell. And hard to describe a tough shot for O'Connell when he just made a 47-footer to close the first half.
Yeah.
Oh, quick trigger, McGee. Got it. Wow. 21 for Darius McGee.
It's as if before you even have time to set up your defense, to try to close him out, he has already released the ball.
And it is such a soft, feathery, effortless stroke that he has on his shot attempts. Muscle shot there by Angel. And this is now some back and forth basketball action here in semifinal number 1.
These two teams are really evenly matched. When you look at the records, 8-4 for Liberty, 7-4 for Stanford, and we talked about it in the open. Liberty, 6 wins over a Power 5 team in the last 4 seasons. They've beaten Mizzou already this year. They hung with LSU for a while, and today they are trying to get a Pac-12 win. Well, this guy can help them get it there. Before McConnell could put his hand up for O'Connell, that's McGee for 3. And Angel reading the screen well, the give and go. Little space under the basket, up against the big guys for 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by your Lexus dealers, wishing you a happy and safe holiday season. And Popeye's new nuggets, they come in peace, 8-piece.
I've had the chicken sandwich, pretty good. Might have to try the nuggets, maybe for the flight home. Let me see how mad I can make everybody on that plane.
The seed has been planted, that's for sure. It is semifinal number 1, Stanford by a bucket over Liberty here in day 2 of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Second semifinal has BYU taking on Vanderbilt at 10 Eastern on ESPN2. Our guys, Roxy Bernstein and Corey Williams, will bring you the call. BYU taking down South Florida in the quarterfinal round yesterday, and then Vanderbilt beating host Hawaii and got a strong performance out of Scottie Pippen Jr. And so that should be a pretty competitive semifinal as well as this one has proven to be.
BYU holding South Florida's defense, or offense, I should say, to a season, seemed like a season low. Nobody even scored in double figures for the Bulls.
So they're going to give Jaden Dallaire the foul here, and it's going to go the other way. That's number 1 for Dallaire. You have 2 team fouls on either side, and just 2 points separating these squads. First ever meeting between Stanford and Liberty. Here's a B. And we'll have a defensive foul called against the Cardinal. That was Brandon Angel picking up that last foul. Quick trigger again for McGee, left that one short side. And Angel secures the board. Under 10 to shoot. Angel's going to try a 3 and glances off the rim and bounces out of bounds. So Liberty for the game shooting 41%. They're shooting 47% from downtown, though 8 of 17. Stanford has matched the production, 8 made threes on 12 attempts, and they're at 55% overall from the field.
Honestly, this game comes down to 2 guys, McGee and Jones. McGee with 21, Jones with 20. Nobody else Kanoa in double figures. It's been these 2 to lead the day.
Yeah, Jones on the bench at the moment. That 20, by the way, a new career high for Spencer Jones. James Keefe picking up the defensive foul here for Stanford. 6'9" junior from Los Angeles, California. Robinson lines up a 3. That one too strong. And a whistle underneath as Micaiah Abi was fighting a Cardinal for the rebound.
You know you've got some strength when it takes two guys to box you out and you still draw the foul. It's going to be something special. 6'7", just a sophomore. He's got a huge upside.
McGee, you could see him kind of tracking, getting loose for a moment, but Angel picks him up. McGee lets it fly, though, anyway, and drills it.
Yeah, same reaction, guys, same. That step back was something.
That's now 24 for Darius McGee, his 8th 20-point game this season. Dallaire to the hoop, and he'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
He's got no space, right? Boom, step back. Selling Angel on the drive, and the bench reacting appropriately. That's what they talk about. You put a bigger defender on him. Angel at 6'8", McGee at 5'9". You're talking about basically a foot. He likes going against bigger defenders because his quickness allows him to create the separation he needs for a three-point shot. And that's something that NBA scouts are going to pay attention to, right? Can he get his shot off? There's your answer right there.
Now, Richie McKay actually compares Darius McGee to a Dana Barros type of player, right? Boston College played in the NBA and was with the Sonics for some time. And Richie McKay spending some time in the greater Northwest region, and he says there are some similarities there between those two. And that shot right there, that looked next level for sure.
It did. I mean, no matter if it's NBA or somewhere else, he's gonna make a lot of money from this game.
He continues to pile up the points. He's got 26. Showing no signs of slowing down here. That one deflected out of bounds by Peebles. Just under 13 minutes to play. And this first semifinal, it's Liberty now on top by a bucket. Dana Barros was listed at 5'11". McGee is listed at 5'9".
And even that looks generous.
It may be.
From here. But I will say, during halftime, I walked by another team that was in the building, and they said, yeah, McGee worries me. I caught wind of the conversation. I was like, yeah, you might want to be worried about it.
Jones missing the three at the other end. Here's Blake Preston. Spinning baseline, the hesitation move, and he's fouled by Max Merle. And so the fouls starting to mount a little bit. That's the 6th team foul for Stanford. The tension starting to build as well. You can feel it here in Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center.
You feel that Liberty has started this half more aggressively than Stanford, and that's the reason they got up in the first half. That's the reason Stanford started to come back in the second half, or excuse me, late in the first half. But the more aggressive team is going to win this game. Liberty's showing you that by taking it right to the Cardinal and causing them to foul 6 times.
Preston hitting the free throw. This has been an area that he's experienced some struggle. He's now 8 of 17 from the line this season. And this is the second. Here's Tate. And Spencer Jones rips away the offensive rebound and cleans up the spill. Career high 22 now for Spencer Jones.
Straight beast mode. I mean, this guy is on a mission today. Keeping them in the game single-handedly.
Preston flushes it and one.
Exclamation point hanging on the rim there, perhaps, as we hit the media timeout. Preston, the big guy, flipping the screen. Oh, I got that wide opening. Yeah, let me finish with a dunk over Spencer Jones, too. Yeah, that's sending a message right there. Well, hoops is a team game, but we've been seeing a two-man show today between Darius McGee and Spencer Jones. A lot of times, these two have been locked up on each other. Jones playing terrific defense on McGee, but McGee still with 26 points on the day, and Jones a career high 22. McGee loving to create off that high ball screen. And a humble guy will never like look at you and let you know, hey, I just scored on you. But take a look at these numbers. These guys having themselves a day. Still the only 2 in double figures for their team.
It's funny how that dynamic plays out sometimes, right? When there's a guy on the other side who happens to be balling out, and how it sometimes brings out the best in you. And these two have been playing off of each other, as you alluded to, and both of them have been showing out.
It shows their competitive side, you know, wanting to one-up each other, I think, for the sake of their team. And neither one of them have been playing selfish basketball. You know, you're just seeing them take advantage of what the defense is giving them, and they're hot, so they should have the ball in their hands.
Free throw by Preston. Out of the timeout, no good. McGee getting a quick break here for Liberty, but already getting back to the scorer's table to check back into this game. Liberty by 3. Semifinal number 1 here on day 2 of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. 5 seconds to shoot. It's Isa Silva off the hezzy.
Isa's a great option off the bench for Stanford to come in for Michael O'Connell, a scoring point guard who's crafty, he's creative, he's got a ton of confidence. I love the swag he plays with. 6'4", a freshman, really understands the game.
Consensus 4-star, number 53 prospect on the ESPN 100 out of Sacramento, California, and Jesuit High School. We have a flop warning given to Harrison Ingram. So that's 1 flop warning on either side now. We saw Keegan McDowell get whistled for 1 in the first half.
I'm glad that this has been something that the officials have really taken control of in the game, because it got bad for a while.
And we're going to whistle away from the basketball this time. That's Isaiah Warfield picking up his 3rd. 4th team foul for Liberty. Stanford already with 17 fouls, so Liberty in the 1-and-1 bonus. 1-point contest. Here's Ingram. Spins to the baseline, draws the contact and the foul. It's going to go against Shiloh Robinson, and that's his 3rd foul. So you have 3 players now for Liberty, each with 3 fouls in Robinson, Warfield, and Van Sant. Shooting 2 shots. Meanwhile, nobody with more than 2 fouls on the Stanford side. Still a lot of basketball to be played here with 10:41 on the clock. Liberty with 6 wins over Power 5 opponents over the last 4 years. The last was Missouri. That was back on December 2nd of this season. Looking to see if they can add to that list, but we have a lane violation giving Ingram another stab at it from the free throw line.
And talking about Ingram, you know, we featured him coming into this tournament. He had a tough day yesterday. See another whistle. Wow.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of whistles here at this juncture of the ball game. Ingram missing again. Entered the game an 81% free throw shooter.
To me, he's playing reserved. You know, like I know he's more confident than what he's showing himself to be into play, and more aggressive than how he's playing. That just hasn't come through just yet. He needs a breakout play, maybe, you know, a steal to a dunk. He needs something to get his electricity started.
Robinson missing the front end of the 1-and-1 try. And we're tied again here at 52. Ingram kicks it to Jones. 3-pointer from the corner off the mark. And a great box out by Rode against Keefe.
Not an easy guy to box out either. I mean, we saw Keefe go to work yesterday against Wyoming's bigs.
McGee, contested jumper. Good defense there, Isa Silva.
Yeah, I think Issa Silva's a great matchup. Because speed-wise, I think he can stick with him. He's got the smarts to understand which way Darius McGee is going to move. It might be a really good substitution looking back if Stanford's able to pull out this game for Coach Haas.
Here's Jones.
That's got to be a charge.
And that'll be his second, but it goes the other way.
Ouch.
Warfield digging in and taking that one, and that may be something they take a look at, Brooke.
Yeah. Well, they're going to look for unnecessary or excessive. I don't think it's either one of those. I don't think there's going to be a flagrant call. To me, that's a basketball play. It's shoulder, it's not elbow, right? He's not going for injuring Warfield whatsoever. We'll take another look at it. Is he backing him down? This is just body to body. But Warfield reads it, right? He knows he's going to spin move. But he did hit him above the shoulders in the face, so it is a possibility. I just don't, to me, that doesn't qualify as unnecessary or excessive. I think Warfield's in good defensive position, and unfortunately just takes all the contact to the face. I know that's not going to feel good later, I know that.
That's for sure. You see the conference now among the officiating trio, Tony Padilla, Michael Greenstein, and Brooks Wells. And we're going to get an explanation here. So they are calling a flagrant 1 foul. Isaiah Warfield, who took the charge, is going to shoot 2 shots and then inbound the ball.
He certainly could have gone either way. In my opinion, it wasn't, but you know, you've got 3 officials who had the ability to look at it 2 and 3 times, confer, called a flagrant, but Liberty didn't capitalize on it. You're also going to get the ball back. But what that could do is temper the game a bit of Spencer Jones. You know, he's so used to playing very physical, so he might have to tone it down just a bit, which is not in his nature, right? It's not what he wants to do. But now knowing that he's been called for that flagrant 1, you might see a bit of an adjustment to his game.
Here's McGee, and that's going to be a defensive foul against Silva, and that's team foul number 10, which means Liberty's shooting 2 shots every Stanford foul here on out.
To me, it feels like the game was a lot more physical in the first half, you know, allowing for some extra touches here and there, but certainly things have gotten tight here in the second.
Well, thousands have been affected by southern and Midwest tornadoes, and if you would like to help, please visit redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this disaster. Our hearts obviously go out to everyone impacted in that region of the country, and if you have the means, please find it in your heart to donate.
Especially around the holidays.
And another whistle. And this looks like it's going to go against Warfield, and that will be his 4th. And it seems as though whatever rhythm there was to be enjoyed in this game, it's kind of hit the skids here over the last few minutes.
Yeah, we got some skips in the mixtape here is what we got. Buffering.
That's right. I wonder if there are a lot of younger viewers out there going, what's a mixtape?
What's a mixtape? A tape? What are you talking about?
And we have another whistle. It's going to be Shiloh Robinson. That's his 4th. And that's the 7th team foul for Liberty, and so now Stanford in the bonus. But Robinson and Warfield now each with 4 fouls. There's a whole lot of time left on the clock here.
Yeah, it really is.
Shiloh Robinson, who was referred to by Richie McKay as undeniably the best defender on this Liberty team.
It's really valuable because he can guard the 1 through 5 position, so him being in foul trouble is definitely a problem for Liberty, but Abi has played so well in this game, and he can handle the ball. I think that's one of the added benefits of having him in the game.
Here's IB turning the corner. And a good contest there from Ingram, who had just missed the front end of the one-on-one at the offensive side. Jones falls to the floor but recovers. And Stanford will reset. And a defensive foul. This is going to go against Vincent.
Personal foul.
And so that's number 4 for Vincent. So that's now 3 Liberty Flames with 4 fouls apiece. And Brandon Angel going to the free throw line to shoot the 1-on-1.
Liberty's gonna really have to make adjustments because the way the game is being called is changed, right? From the first half to the second. So you've got to be able to adjust. They play a lot more hands off. You know, they're not really allowing for the same kind of physicality they did in the first half. So that pack line defense, the help side's got to be there, right? And that's one of the things the official is trying to explain to Vincent right now. You got to keep your hands off, stay body to body in front. You know, maybe stop with your chest. You can't have those hands down. They call it the hot stove, right? You can only touch as if you're putting hand on his body as a hot stove moment, and you got to take it off.
Angel with 9 points now. And Stanford within a point. McGee guarded by Jones, picks up the dribble. Oh, and that pass goes right to the bench. B and Rode not on the same page. And you wonder, the accumulation of whistles maybe throwing Liberty out of sync just a tad.
Yeah, I think it's made them play tight, and McGee kind of putting his arms in the motion as to say, let's get it going, guys. Let's try to find our rhythm again.
Angel for 3. Got it. He's got 12. The only player on the floor not named Jones or McGee in double figures. McGee for 3. Got it to go. 31. A new season high for Darius McGee.
He understands that the game is in his hands at this point, right? I mean, he knows that he's leading this offense. He's going to be taking the majority of the shots down the stretch here for Liberty. You can feel it. Nice move by Keith.
Oh, but the shot not there. And the rebound pulled down by Preston. Oh, a chippy missed that time by James Keefe. Backdoor cut, it's McGee. Guarded by Jones. Again, this is the matchup. McGee off balance.
That was the best defensive set by Stanford we've seen this game. They recovered so well. I mean, the backdoor cut by McGee was open, but the help side was there. Then Jones to come back out and close up that space. It's like, McGee, you're not getting another 3 on me right now.
Jones for 3. He knocks it down, 25, as he continues to build on his career high. Maybe we just let these two play one-on-one the final 6 minutes plus.
I'm with it. Let's go. King of the court for the last 6.5.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Preston trying to close in on Keefe, and Keefe is going to pick up the defensive foul. So free throws for Liberty on the other side.
Brandon Angel helping out the Cardinal. He and Jones have 6 of their 9 3-pointers on the afternoon. Make that 10. And then McGee comes up with an unbelievable, I mean, that's a 38-inch vert right there, right? That's where you're seeing it on display. But Jones here to match that same energy.
Semifinal number 1 coming down to the wire here. Stanford currently in front of Liberty 60-58 with 6:22 left to play in the game. Well, this game is a Christmas Eve tradition and the only one on the college football schedule. We bring you back out to paradise for the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl in Honolulu. The Rainbow Warriors take on Memphis, led by one of the top wide receivers in the country, Calvin Austin. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 3 Hawaiian time on ESPN and the app. One tap. Rainbow Warriors playing on their home field, which is just a ways down the lower campus here from where we're situated, the Clarence T.C. Ching Athletic Complex. As Blake Preston knocks down the first free throw out of the timeout. Goes 1 for 2. So stories of this game, really, you can whittle it down to the 18 turnovers for Stanford, which led to 18 points for Liberty, and then the almost mano-a-mano matchup between Darius McGee, 31 points, and Spencer Jones, career-high 25 for Stanford.
And both teams leaving 5 points on the board from free throw line. There we go.
Harrison Ingram for 3.
He just needs one shot, and maybe that's it, right? You just saw him kind of emphasize his body language, right, with his head, like, here we go, like, I got this.
9 points now for Ingram. McGee for 3. He has 7 made threes on now 13 attempts from out there. Stopping and popping. O'Connell a lot closer than the shot we saw him hit at the end of the first half.
One of his best assets is the pull-up jump shot. You expect him to pass it. He's been able to find players all day, but they love when he's at an efficient level and when he's vocal. They feel like that's when they're the best team.
McDowell for 3. That was a tough shot with O'Connell in his grill. Now Dallaire leading the break. O'Connell layup too strong. Ingram there with the tip in.
Great 3-on-2 finish for Stanford. Harrison Ingram had 4 offensive rebounds in yesterday's game. He didn't play a whole lot, but he was very impactful on the glass. His 3 got them going back here in the second half, and his teammates know it.
A 7-0 run here for the Cardinal to create a little bit of separation here with under 5 minutes to play in the game.
Well, Stanford on a 7-0 run. Just over the last minute, they've hit 4 of their last 5 shots. Ingram showing you the big body at D1 level. Get some separation, right? He pumped his chest. He knows what time it is. And O'Connell can hit from the mid-range. And Ingram with a great finish tip in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. Outrigger Hotels and Resorts, where local culture meets world-class hospitality. And Dollar General, where you save time and money every day. A little surge here by Stanford, 67-59, now in front, under 5 minutes to play in regulation. But this is how the end of the first half went. Michael O'Connell, the half-court heave.
This is what they practice, you know, guys and ladies, they practice this shot every day at the end of practice. And O'Connell, who is a top 100 player in both lacrosse and basketball. Accurate.
Yeah, that was a perfect swish.
It really was. I hope that makes SC top 10. It really should.
And a shot that kind of ultimately punctuated at least that swing of momentum over to Stanford. Remember, Stanford trailed by 13 in the first half. Pretty early on, in fact. They're now up by 8 here. But Shiloh Robinson going to the free throw line as Keefe picks up his 3rd foul. 2 shots here for Robinson, and he rattles the first one home. Robinson playing with 4 fouls, mind you.
Liberty's got to get something going. They haven't scored from field goal. No field goals in the last 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So this is where, you know, it is McGee takeover time, yes, but he also can't force shots. You know, I think the degree of difficulty on his threes, he's kind of challenging himself in this game, but now it's time to hone in and go back to discipline. You got to take good shots.
Ingram Good contest there. Both Robinson and McDowell in the area. Cardinal by a half dozen. It's Ingram guarding McGee.
He's seen so many different looks today, hasn't he?
Left-handed shovel pass down to a B. Now Robinson with it. And we'll have a whistle. It looks like Keefe is going to pick this one up, and that's his fourth.
Personal foul.
And so that sends Robinson to the line again. And you can definitely suggest that the tone in terms of the officiating, thus the physicality of the game, has been altered a bit from the first half to the second half.
It definitely feels that way. But as players, you gotta read that. Coaching staff, you gotta adjust to it. And Keefe gonna take a seat with 4 fouls and no points. But you know, he's not in the game to score a bunch, but he is in the game to really disrupt the post, make it a physical game.
Yeah, in that game against Wyoming, Keefe fouled out, had 2 points, 3 rebounds. You read the stat line, and it just felt like he impacted the game in so much more of a profound way than what that stat line reads.
Yeah, the numbers didn't show it, but he was big.
Dallaire, bad miss from 3. McGee, the long rebound. Liberty within 4. McGee, the hesitation move, challenges Dallaire. Great contest, and the loose ball off to O'Connell. Stanford looking to push. Bounce pass to Angel, layup good.
Wow. How about the speed of the Cardinal flying? Just tells you, you know, that's a Power 5 team at work, right? You really see it from rebound and using the principle of verticality, Dallaire not fouling, then they go right into a fast break.
McGee with a good look here, but he left it short. Liberty, no field goals in now over 4.5 minutes.
Gonna use up some of the shot clock, get back into a motion offense here.
McConnell turns the corner, got stripped by McGee, went off of McConnell's leg, it appeared, but last touched out of bounds by Rode.
Brandon Angel with a great athletic finish. Off the fast break, started by defense here. Dallaire didn't foul, he just went up, principal verticality. O'Connell using that lacrosse speed. Hey, simple bounce pass, simple layup.
Quite the turnaround in this game for Stanford. The Cardinal trailing by as many as 13 early in the first half, now up a half dozen, 69-63. Still a lot of time here on the clock, but Liberty trending in the wrong direction, 0 for 6 on their last field goal attempts. And no field goals made, in fact, in now almost 5 minutes, Brooke. How do they turn it around?
Yeah, I think driving to the bucket will help. You know, that's how they started off this game, was attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line. I think they need to do some more of that. It feels to me that Darius McGee trying to do it solo from behind the three-point line and hitting, you know, he wants to hit the difficult 3, which he can do. It's not that, but I think right now you gotta, again, stay disciplined, really try to get the shot you want, and perhaps Harrison Ingram working on getting some blood off of his jersey right there from the training staff. He'll run back in this game.
Will be Stanford inbounding to the baseline. 10 seconds now on the shot clock, and it looked like Jones slipped along that sideline and thus stepped out of bounds, so Liberty takes over. That is the 19th turnover for Stanford, so to think that despite 19 turnovers, which have led to 18 Liberty points, they're still up by 6, pretty remarkable.
Well, I think defensively, you know, other than McGee, they've really locked in. No player scoring any more than 6 points for the Flames.
McGee with those 31, 7 of 14 from downtown is blocked near the rim by O'Connell.
He's had a huge impact in this game. Critical moments.
Here's Angel, quick first step, and he's called for the charge. McGee, the only player in double figures for Liberty with the 31. You have 3 players in double digits for the Cardinal. The 25, a career high for Spencer Jones, Angel and Ingram, 14 and 11 respectively.
And Angel knew it, and then he dabbed up Jaden Dallaire because he knew he was wide open. You know, that's where you got to make those better decisions. dish it off to your teammate. Could have had the dunk, the momentum. Instead, you get called for the charge.
Yeah, his 4th foul. The drive by Rode. Kyle Rode has been relatively quiet here in this game. Doesn't average a lot in terms of points, but seems to pick and choose his spots wisely.
Yeah, I think it's good to see the ball in his hands, to have him take it, because, you know, it just feels like McGee was trying to take over this game, and you need somebody else to score. So off the high ball screen, Kyle Rode creating the defensive help, not there. And Rode with a finish.
And Liberty calling the timeout after their made basket. We saw that a few times in the quarterfinal round yesterday, and that leaves them with just 1 timeout remaining here over the final 2:06.
Yeah, clearly some strategy that Coach McKay wants to put in, but I think it also leaves them vulnerable with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left. That's a long time, and you might need it, you know, in a 4-point game. Meanwhile, Stanford has 3 timeouts left. So we'll see if it puts Liberty in a precarious position with just the 1 timeout left. You know, perhaps Coach McKay switching up his defense just a bit, or, you know, putting him in play a few offensive sets he wants to run. Something he saw compelled him to call that timeout.
Stanford by 4. 2 minutes to play in regulation, semifinal number 1. Dallaire for 3. Got it! How many clutch threes has this guy hit already this season?
When it's the big time calling, Dallaire answers the phone. He's not sending it to voicemail. It's like, no, I got your 3.
With the game-winning buzzer beater to beat Oregon back on December 12th. McGee, that's a tough shot.
Yeah, that's that ball.
Dallaire, lob pass. A little too tall for Ingram. He had to make the adjustment. And then he loses it out of bounds. It belongs to Liberty.
He took ownership of it, too. He knew. Here's the 3 from Dallaire. I think Rhodes got to get closer on the closeout, right? He stopped, hesitated a bit. Instead of closing out that space, you got to understand that Dallaire is a 3-point shooter. He wants to take it. Not going to beat you off the dribble. You'll have help side.
The officials now going to take a few moments to look at that out-of-bounds play. It was on the floor, ruled Liberty basketball, but they're going to look to confirm here. So 72-65 Stanford on top here against the Flames. We'll see if we can tell.
That's off Ingram.
Yeah, that looks pretty clear, at least from that angle.
Yeah. Liberty ball.
And so Liberty, which just called its penultimate timeout, kind of gives them a freebie here to gather and huddle. And so the call confirmed pretty quickly, and 1:15 on the clock. Flames got some work to do. Ingram again, watching McGee. The cut along the baseline, reverse layup attempt by Peebles, broken up by Jones, but he picks up the foul. And so this is good if you're the Liberty Flames. Clock is frozen, you get a chance to cut into the deficit.
Yeah, it would have been better for Jones just to contest. That was a very difficult layup to try and make. And Peebles capable of doing that, but might as well contest and try to take your chances on the box out. The worst thing you can do is stop the clock, put Liberty on the line.
Third foul on Jones. Peebles unable to hit the free throw. 69% free throw shooter coming in. Richie McKay very high on this freshman. 3-level scorer. Showed some of his potential. Scored 15 straight points earlier this season against Delaware State. But he goes 0 for 2 from the line. And Jones able to control the loose basketball. Liberty not fouling in the backcourt. Stanford finds Angel behind the D, and he punches it.
Good composure by Stanford against the Liberty pressure. And just allowing that layup to happen, and Liberty will take their last timeout.
So McGee gets to 33 points. That's one off of his career high. It is a season high, but Liberty is still staring up at Stanford on the scoreboard.
Quick ball fake by Dallaire. Make the defense bite on the wing pass. Instead, you get a down low to Angel for the dunk. And Stanford perhaps escaping despite having 21 turnovers. And I think Coach Haas would tell you, not a very well played game by them, but they found a way to do it. And
yeah.
Look like they're going to get out of here with the win.
They have proven to be a gritty group here, just in these two games for sure in Honolulu. And so they are in position perhaps to advance to the championship on Saturday, Christmas Day, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2, where they will play the winner of BYU Vanderbilt at 10 Eastern later today on ESPN2.
Well, if you're Liberty, you can look back at this game, know that you were right there with LSU at a point, certainly controlled a good portion of this game. But you got to have some help. You can't have one guy with 33 points and your next highest scorers only have 6. That's not going to get it done. You can't go 15 of 22 from the free throw line, shoot under 70%. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, if you had told Richie McKay before the game, hey, Darius McGee's going to have 33, Stanford's going to have 21 turnovers, you'll have 20 points off of those turnovers, I think he would have liked his chances.
Right.
But give credit to this Cardinal team, at least putting themselves in this position at this stage of the game, finding ways to succeed here.
Yeah, Stanford's got 3 guys in double figures, and that's been the difference.
Oh, and nearly another breakout dunk for Angel behind the D. But a foul committed at half court. That's going to be the 5th on Shiloh Robinson. But that's the thing about this Stanford team that is proving to be tough. You never know on any given night who is going to provide the offense. 11 Cardinal players have reached double figures in scoring this season. They're the only team in the Pac-12 to be able to say that here this year. Stanford preseason picked to finish 9th in the Pac-12 by the media. UCLA the favorite, but there's an awfully lot of good basketball being played in the Pac-12. Obviously, a few programs being hampered here, having to traverse through some COVID difficulties, but that's a really high-level conference at the moment. McGee, and give him a new career high, 35 points. And a foul committed in the backcourt. No timeouts left for the Flames. And they got to hope for a few very fortunate things to happen for them to still be able to pull this one off, as Michael O'Connell goes to the free throw line. Maybe the highlight of the game, maybe the highlight of the tournament, as Michael O'Connell hits the half-court shot at the buzzer to end the first half. Misses the free throw there, but I mean, that thing was a perfect swish, and you could already sense that Stanford was pulling the pendulum of momentum to its side, but that kind of hammered it home.
Yeah.
Here's McGee, gets to the rim again. So after the missed free throws, McGee now with 37, and it's a 5-point differential. Peebles with the foul there, and it's going to send O'Connell to the line. Michael O'Connell, 3 of 6 from the free throw line here in this game.
Yeah, bringing his team together. When you got to knock down some free throws here. He hit the, I mean, come on, you already hit the shot from half court. You'd think this would be a lot easier.
Can he choose to shoot him from half court?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Game's not over yet. Coach McKay subbing in. 3-point shooter Jonathan Jackson.
Jackson coming in, making his first appearance of this tournament, wearing number 11, the younger brother of Justin Jackson of the Phoenix Suns. But how about Harrison Ingram stepped on the baseline? We saw him come up with a huge rebound in Stanford's win over Wyoming yesterday. Almost did the same thing there, but he steps out of bounds, and now the Cardinal signal for a timeout. Yeah. Things have gotten a little interesting here. You can almost see all the teeth clenching among the Cardinal fans across the way.
Coach Hass grabbing the back of his neck, saying, come on, guys, let's get out of here with this dub. We did all this work to come back. Let's not lose momentum. Michael O'Connell, sure disappointed he didn't knock those free throws down. For Stanford, this is where the momentum shifted. Heading in to the locker room, O'Connell hits this shot. Eyes locked in on the rim. Dead on. No rim whatsoever. O'Connell knocks this shot down, going into the locker room. And Stanford still with 2 timeouts. Both teams in the bonus. But 24 seconds is 23.9 seconds too much for Coach Hass and the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, this is a finish to this game where Stanford's going to feel like they could have probably packed it away by now. But you have left the door ajar here for this Liberty Flames squad. What do you anticipate we see here this upcoming possession for the Flames?
Well, I think you've got some extra three-point shooters in right now between McDowell, McGee, Jackson. Rode can hit the 3, so really just about anybody in a Liberty uniform is likely to take a 3, but most so that guy right here, Darius McGee, who's already hit a career high today. And I'm surprised Stanford giving him some room. You'd think probably gonna roll the ball here, add some time. Yep, oh, maybe not.
McGee quickly closed out. Gonna get to the lane, and he's gonna draw the foul. I think they're gonna give this one to Dallaire. And so Darius McGee with 37 points. He's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, 77% free throw shooter coming into this tournament. Had he gotten just a bit more clearance under the rim, he would have put that English, trying to go for the M1.
Well, that's now for Darius McGee, 38 points. As an aside, the single game record for the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic, 41 by Chase Fisher of BYU against New Mexico in 2015. Just something to sort of have in the back pocket there, as that free throw cuts it down to 3. McGee to the bench, Micaiah Abi onto the floor. Double team on Ingram. And he signals for a timeout.
Yeah.
Stanford had 2 left, so they'll still have 1 in their back pocket. Your thoughts on the strategy to pull McGee off the floor? And remember, Liberty, no timeouts, no ability to stop the clock if they were able to get a turnover.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused by that, only because McGee with no fouls in this game, so it wasn't a foul trouble issue or anything like that. And you know, obviously a defense for offense substitution, but as you said, with no timeouts, if Liberty were able to create a turnover, you're not looking for your best scorer in the game who has 39 points to shoot that 3. So I'm sure we'll see him back in the game now. Oh no, looks like McGee's still gonna stay out.
Obviously, Liberty primarily looking to foul here, but just in case you were to get a turnover, it would mean that your top scorer, the guy with 39 points, is sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear Coach McKay's take on that.
Inbound goes to Jones. Oh, and he's wrapped up, and it is a tie-up call. Possession arrow gives it to Liberty.
Okay.
DJ Moore able to get his hands on the rock in the tug-of-war with Spencer Jones.
So we're just going extra spicy today, right? Does Popeyes have that option? I'm sure they do, right?
8-piece.
Yeah. Liberty could use a 3-piece right now, extra spicy. McGee trying to order that.
Road to inbound. Liberty down by 3. Under 10 to play in regulation, and Ingram commits the foul. So that's going to send McDowell to the free throw line to shoot 2. And another one of those decisions. If he makes the first, do you miss the second on purpose? I guess a lot of it depends on what happens on this first attempt.
Yeah, Keegan McDowell, 91%. To me, I'd say hit both of them. Liberty's got great defense. Trust your defense. Try to get another tie-up if you can. I think you got some time to go for the steal or the Well, you need the steal. You don't
He
have
missed
time.
the second. And a foul will be called. And it is going to go against McDowell. And so that's going to send now Stanford to the free throw line to shoot 2. I don't think he was trying to miss it on purpose, clearly. No. Just a rare miss for McDowell from the free throw line. So instead of it being a 1-point game, you have the Cardinal going to the line in the form of Brandon Angel with a chance to go up 2 possessions.
68% free throw shooter at the line. So a lot of pressure here for Angel.
2 for 2 in this game. Misses the first.
Can Ingram come up with another big offensive board? He did yesterday. Can he do it today?
B checking into the game to try to box out Ingram. Second free throw from Angel is good. And so now Stanford will use its final timeout to draw up what they're going to strategize defensively. And it comes down to Liberty. They need a 3 to tie this game and see if they can send it to extras.
They're going to send 2 and 3 guys at McGee. McGee wants the ball. He wants to take the shot. I don't know if you've got enough time to come down the length of the floor. Maybe one, you got time for 1 pass. If you put the ball in the hands of McGee, he can get down the floor and you've got time for 1 pass and 1 shot, or if McGee shoots it. Like, that's it. You don't got time for 2 passes. So I'm assuming right now that Coach McKay is drawing up a play here to give McGee a couple of options to come off screens. To me, I think he should come off a screen, perhaps set by Kyle Rode. So if that screen's there and he gets the double, you get the quick kick back to Rode, who's a confident 3-point shooter. Those guys work well together, right? I think that's what they're talking about right now. That's my guess.
Both teams involved in quarterfinal games that came down to the final shots, essentially, with Stanford surviving against Wyoming on a Hunter Maldonado miss, and Liberty surviving on an A.J. Green miss by Northern Iowa, and the foul is committed before McGee can get a shot up.
Trading 2s for 3s. I think at this point, if you're Liberty, try to hit the first and miss the second.
So McGee with a chance, first off, to cut into the lead, but to also tie the tournament record. He now has a 40-burger and 1 point away from tying the single game scoring record set by Chase Fisher of BYU.
I think the guys are lining up for a miss here.
He sinks it. 1-point game, 4.3 to play.
Toss it way down the court if you're Stanford. Way down.
Still looking to inbound. Still looking to inbound, gets it to Ingram, and he's immediately fouled by Rode. Stanford with no timeouts. It was awfully close.
To me, if I'm Stanford, I'm throwing it the length of the floor. Even if you get a turnover, you still got to make it down in 3 seconds to get a 3 off. And I mean, we've seen one nice half-court shot in this game. It's pretty unlikely we'd see another. But either way, it's going to put Ingram on the line.
So that said, you prefer Ingram hitting these 2 free throws as he makes the first, or do you think it's a good idea to miss this one, to your point about the position on the floor?
I think it's a good idea just to make it. You know, give yourself that 3-point lead. A little cushion.
Clutch shots from the freshman. 79-76, Stanford on top. 3.1 on the clock. And that pass deflected out of bounds by Jones. 2.8 now is what is read.
Good job to have Delaire covering the out of bounds. He's got nice length at 6'9", a 7'2" wingspan.
Inbound goes to McDowell, and he loses the ball out of bounds.
Yep. Wanted the foul. Coach McKay asking for a review. I don't think it's going to happen.
So instead of Darius McGee getting the ball on the inbound. It is Keegan McDowell who loses it out of bounds.
Well, Coach McKay trying to see if maybe Ingram tapped the ball out of bounds, but it looked to me like it went off the foot. Yeah, I think that went off the right foot, right, of Keegan McDowell. It didn't look to me like Ingram got a touch.
And yeah, it's quickly confirmed. And now the clock reading 0.8. And Stanford up by 3. And on the verge of officially punching a ticket for the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic Championship game. What an effort. Darius McGee ties a tournament record, 41 points.
You said yesterday, right? You're going to know his name by the end of the day. NBA scouts definitely paying attention now. But what a well-fought game by Liberty. Stanford holding the course despite 23 turnovers.
Career high 25 points for Spencer Jones. So there you see Stanford on the top line. Championship game Saturday at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. They'll await the winner of BYU Vanderbilt later today. Once again, the final score 79-76 Stanford. For Brooke Weisbrod, I'm Kanoa Leahy. SportsCenter follows us here on ESPN2. Game 2 between Northern Iowa and Wyoming on ESPNU.